So, YouTube cracked down pretty hard on my channel recently, and unfortunately, most of my videos are going to be deleted. And if I want to keep a channel at all, I have to change up how I do my videos. So I'm going to try a different format today and see how it goes. If it's still entertaining, good. If not, then I guess we move on. After all my other videos, a lot of requests for specific episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark came in. And this episode in particular was asked for a lot. So after watching it, I realized this is probably the darkest episode of the show I have personally seen. This one is called The Tale of the Crimson Clown from Season 3 of Are You Afraid of the Dark? And it's about a little boy who gets away with everything but gets taught a lesson of right and wrong. This time the story is told by Gary, and I don't know about you guys, but as a kid I always thought Gary was the leader of the Midnight Society, but looking back I don't think they really had a leader, right? They were just kind of a club. But anyway, he starts the story out for us. We're immediately introduced to the main character, Mike, a teenage boy who's been saving his money so he can buy his mom a present for her birthday. And after a little bit of fighting and whining, he convinces his little brother to come with them, and they head out to go get her a gift. They end up at the gift shop, but immediately the little brother starts crying and fighting and wanting to leave, so he ends up going over to the toy store. So Mike starts browsing around the gift shop, and he ends up seeing this clown. It doesn't look really scary, it just kind of looks goofy, but it's sitting there and it draws his attention. Mike ends up finding the gift he wants for his mom, but when he goes to buy it, he sees that he has no money in his wallet. It turns out that his little brother stole it to buy a video. The video is called Zeebo's Big House, which is a great callback to A Tale of Laughing in the Dark, which is another great Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. I've done a video about that episode, but I don't know how long it'll still be up on YouTube before it gets removed. And I know Zeebo is cool and all, but who is spending $70 on a VHS tape? I don't know, looking at it a little closer, maybe it's a Sega Genesis video game? It does have that kind of case going on. Either way, that is a lot of money. Mike then tries to explain to his brother why he shouldn't be so bad, but the entire time his brother's just giving him attitude and acting like a little brat. I mean, look at his face, it's the brattiest face I've ever seen. Mike then makes his brother look at the clown doll and tells him that this is the Crimson Clown, and when he's bad, that clown is watching him. But his brother just stands there making his dumb face the whole time. So they go to leave the gift shop empty-handed, but before they leave, the clown doll's eyes light up and scare his little brother. But even that's not enough to stop him from being a little jerk, because when they go to leave, he starts making fun of Mike again and says to look at the Crimson Clown, but when they go to look for him, the doll is gone. When they get home, their mom is pissed at them for being home so late, but Sam, that's Mike's little brother's name by the way, Sam, blames everything on Mike, and he just keeps making these annoying faces and saying these annoying lies and just being all around annoying. It makes you root for the clown to just terrorize this kid already. And then after that, Mike's mom proceeds to scold him, while Sam stands behind her, being the most obnoxiously, frustratingly annoying little brat on the planet. I know this isn't a big deal, and maybe I'm crazy, but when we see Sam in his room, we see that it is a video game, not a VHS tape. However, it's an NES game, but that is definitely a Sega Genesis case. I've never seen an NES game in a case like that. Am I crazy? All the ones I had were more soft boxes, but maybe that's just me. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Sam is trying to jam a Sega Genesis game into an NES with a face like this. We do finally get to see the clown scare Sam though, which is nice. And when Mike comes in to see why Sam is screaming, the clown doll's gone. Or is it? Alright, that shot was pretty creepy. That's like some Evil Dead shit right there. After dinner, Sam goes to watch TV, and we get what's one of the most legitimately scary scenes from Are You Afraid of the Dark ever. In fact, I don't mean just scariest from Are You Afraid of the Dark. I mean this scene is legitimately scary. Just listen to this doll's voice. It is creepy as hell.
You're next.
I don't know if it's a vision or it's supposed to actually be happening, but whatever it is scary. This would legitimately traumatize kids, and it couldn't have happened to a nicer person. Sam ends up going up to his room, and when he gets there, the clown doll is waiting for him on his bed. But just like last time, and just like the cliche in every horror movie, the second he turns around, the doll disappears. Sam's now getting ready for bed, but hold on a second. That is definitely a Sega Genesis case. That is not an NES case. There's no way. I've never seen an NES case like that. Anyway, I'm getting off topic again. Once Sam does fall asleep, we get this really cool dream transition where he's back in the gift shop where the clown originally was. Are You Afraid of the Dark was always really good with their transitions like this. And in the gift shop, the creepy clown. Except for this time it's a real person, and it is really scary looking. This would give kids nightmares for sure, and it talks to them in the scariest voice possible.
Sam, you're a bad kid. Do you know what we do to kids like you?
It ends up wrapping him up in like wrapping paper ribbon, and then Sam wakes up in bed. Except when he looks down, he's still tied up to the bed with that ribbon. And what proceeds is what made me call this the darkest episode ever. While he's tied down, the clown climbs up through his blankets, laughing and being extremely creepy, crawling up the blankets towards his face. It's extremely scary and would be very traumatizing for a lot of kids, I'm sure. Sam ends up getting free, and when he throws the blankets down, there's nothing there. Sam then runs over to his brother Mike's bed to beg for help, but when he rolls him over, it's the clown, and his head inflates and explodes in a really creepy way. And then, on the bed, we see a No Sam sign. I know I was saying earlier I couldn't wait for Sam to get scared by this clown, but I think I've had enough now. This poor kid is being tortured. The clown then grabs Sam and tries to drag him into the closet, but Sam fights his way free, only for the clown to then just open the door and come in and stalk him all the way to his bed, yelling at him that this is what happens to bad kids, while Sam cries the whole time saying he's sorry and he won't be bad anymore. Sam then pulls the blankets over his head to try to hide, and then he wakes up, and it's morning, and he's in his bed. Still with the terrified face, but it is morning in his bed, which means he made it through the night. He runs downstairs and sees that Mike still got his mom a present after all, and he says it's from both of them. And they embrace, and he says he loves everybody and he's sorry for being a little brat. And that's where it ends. It then cuts back to Gary and the Midnight Society, and he explains that everybody deserves a second chance, and the Crimson Clown gave Sam his. Well, do I still think this is the darkest episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Yes, definitely. That clown basically tortured Sam for an entire night. Yes, he was being a brat, yes, he was being annoying, but this was a little extreme. I guarantee you a lot of the kids that watched this episode were terrified, if not traumatized from this episode. The last act of this episode is relentless. That clown attacks Sam non-stop. I say the Crimson Clown is way scarier than Zebo, even though that episode is more highly rated. This is one of those episodes that everybody should check out. It might surprise you how dark this show can actually get sometimes. But what about you? Was this episode scary to you? What about as a kid? And what'd you think of this format? Is this something I should keep doing, or should I just move on? Let me know in the comments below. And thanks for watching.